Welcome to this week's video, and it's a crap show. I've been off the boat for about 10 days now. Went doctor's appointments like old parts normally have, and then I went and played in a golf tournament with a friend of mine up in Harrisonburg, Virginia, which a member guest tournament, which we actually won. I'll post a picture in here about that. But I got back to the boat last night about midnight. This is Saturday night. So it's Sunday morning right now. Got back to the boat last night about midnight, and my AC was on the fritz. Now, a lot of y'all are saying, oh, what big deal. Cruisers don't have ACs. But you know what? When you're sitting on the dock and you don't have any wind blowing and you're working on the boat, having an AC is important. So the boat, I'm going to show y'all, the boat is a disaster at the moment. I've been tearing through things. I got stuff all screwed up. You can see things are all pulled out. Nothing's put away. It's an absolute disaster. So what I've done, I wasn't recording, but recording what I've done so far just wasn't worth the damn effort. I'll be honest with you. I just want trying to get my AC back running. I'm pretty sure it's throwing the high pressure switch. So I'm pretty sure this happened last year. And all I had to do was just flush the system when it sits here, and you're not getting a lot of fresh water, even though you get a buildup of barnacles and gunk in your system. So I'm trying to do this an easy way. I don't know if that's going to work. I would normally run barnacle buster through the system, but no one's open today that has barnacle buster. The closest West Marine, which is about 5 miles away across the river, they don't have any in stock either. So I went up to Ace Hardware, got a gallon of phosphoric acid, which is what barnacle buster is. I took and disconnected the hose from the inlet, the water inlet, the seawater inlet. Stuck it into that gallon of phosphoric acid, sucked that gallon into the system, cut the AC on, sucked it into the system. As soon as the gallon was about empty, I cut it off. And I'm letting it sit for about an hour or so and see if that will clean it out enough so that I can at least get the AC back up and running. Because what happens is I cut it on, and it'll run for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then the high pressure switch goes, which is it's just not getting enough water flow through the coils, and that's just probably gunk. So I'm hoping this is going to work. If this doesn't work, my next thing to do is what I did last year, is disconnect my inlet and my outlet hoses on the AC, run them into a bucket with muriatic acid, or which I'll do today. Normally I would use barnacle buster, but today like I said, when I went to Ace, I got some muriatic acid, so I'll do a solution of muriatic acid, flush the system for a couple of hours, and then it should be up and running. But hopefully just getting this 1 gallon of phosphoric acid into the system will break it up enough that I can get it running and cooling down, and then I'll get the barnacle buster tomorrow and do a flush system that way. It just takes a lot more time because you have to disconnect the hoses, hook up a bilge pump, and run it through like that. So that takes a little more effort to do, and I'm just too damn hot to do it. So anyway, this week's video is going to be about topside painting. This videos I shot last year, showing how I put my topside paint on somewhat, how I did my 9-skid and stuff like that. So enjoy the video. Hit that like and subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Last week wasn't a great week for a video thing. I lost subscribers, gained subscribers. I think I ended up actually negative on subscribers last week. It is what it is. I shoot the videos because I enjoy shooting them. Sometimes y'all get to see some of the stuff I do. Sometimes I'm just too pissed off to show you. All right, so let's get to it. Let me jump in right quick and say one thing as you're watching this video. My filmmaking skills weren't so good, so it is a little suspect. Some of the framing and stuff is suspect. So I hope you keep that in mind, and I hope my filming skills have gotten better over the past year or so. So let's get to the video again. Thank you guys. All right, so I'm drilling out, beveling out these holes so I can fill them. And then when I go to reinstall this track, I'll re-drill the holes. I'm gonna fill them with 610 compound. A boring bit to get these drilled out and filled with thickened epoxy. So that's what I want to get down to is raw wood to make sure that it's sealed really good. And I've got a bunch. I've done about 25 holes so far. I've only got like, you know, maybe 100 to go, 150 to go. Okay, so what I'm doing is grinding out these stress cracks on these lazarette covers. As you can see. And you even want to get little stress cracks around different things. And one of the keys to getting these stress cracks at, you can still see that little crack there where I haven't gone down far enough. So you have to get that all the way out. All right, so now I'm using the Fixio flexible adhesive to fill these cracks with, or fill these areas with. This first one got pretty heavy. As you can see, everything is spared out, ready for final sanding and then primer. Some of the areas have fairing. Well, I should say everything I'm gonna prime next. So what we'll do next is sand everything with 220. And then I have problems looking at this damn camera because I don't know where the lens is. And then we'll put primer down. Y'all may have noticed I used a gray. Let me show you. Fairing compound, which is not ideal for white paint and light gray paint. The gray is probably be okay, but my primer is white. The reason I use that is because that's what I had, and I didn't see any reason to you know, go buy new fairing, white fairing. So use the gray, which means I'll probably have to prime it twice, which is okay because we're probably gonna have to prime it twice anyway. All right, good. Well, we'll get to that next. I know I said I was gonna sand it with 220, but as you can tell, I'm coming back over and sanding it because originally when I tried to sand with 220, it was just using up too much sandpaper to get all the fairing off. So I hit it with 80 or 100, and now I'm coming back over it with 220, doing the fine sanding before the first coat of primer goes on. All right. I know y'all don't like listening to music, but you know what? I can't talk but so much for what I've got to show you. So enjoy the selection. Not sure what it's going to be just yet.
I got my mind set on you. I got my mind set on you. I got my mind set on you. Got my mind set on you. But it's gonna take money. A whole lot of spending money. It's gonna take plenty of money to do it right, child. And this time I know it's real, the feeling that I feel. I know if I put my mind to it, I know that I really can do it. I got my mind set on you, set on you. I got my mind set on you, set on you. But it's gonna take money. It's gonna take time, whole lot of precious time. It's gonna take patience and time to do it, 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 to do it right. I got my mind set on you. 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 And this time I know it's real, the feelings that I feel. I know if I put my mind to it, I know that I really can do it. But it's gonna take money.
Additional things I've done. Of course, I've sanded the deck down. This all sanded down good, but I didn't get areas filled as well. There are still little dings, little small holes, place I forgot to fill there. This little small stuff that I'm having issues with. When I primed the deck here, I had a ton of bugs, gnats and stuff get into the paint. So I'm not satisfied with that either. So what I'm going to do is I've ordered a tarp that's arriving today, a 50-foot long, a 30 by 50 tarp, and tarp the boat. That will take, putting that tarp on the boat will take out the issues with weather other than it being cold. But it takes the wind and things out of the equation. Because that's been the issue that I've had, basically, is the wind and the weather conditions. So we're going to start over, although, you know, it's not like I'm starting from scratch. It is, I'm going to add time to the boat, getting it ready to go back in the water. But with the tarp on, I don't have, like right now, it's 10:30, 65 degrees, and the boat, the deck itself is still wet from overnight dew. So that causes me to actually lose 3 or 4 hours a day because of dew. So by having the boat tarped, I'll be able to eliminate that, give me more working hours. Some of the other things I can do, the only leak I have in the boat is on the forward V-berth hatch. So I can go ahead and pull it off, get that all corrected before it goes back on, and some of the other issues. So that's where we're at right now. We're just gonna do a reset, okay? And when I say reset, what I mean is we're gonna correct all our errors, and we're gonna do it in a way that doesn't cause us an issue. As much of an issue, I should say. There's always gonna be issues. All right, so I got a tarp up. I should have filmed me putting it up because it was an absolute joke. So we're getting ready to mix up paint to do painting the hull. I'm not gonna film me painting the hull. I've got pictures of that, but this is what we got going on so far. All right, we'll give you a look afterwards. All right, so the tarp is up, and we'll go back to working on the deck now. All right, so I came in this morning and the tarp was full of water, to be honest with you. So what I decided to do, oh, it's hot as hell on the boat here, even though it's cold outside because I had the heater on. So I was sweating my butt off, so I had to take my shirt off. Anyway, so as you can see, I've put some things up here, and I've run posts down here just so that the rainwater's gonna rain for the next couple of days, because I was wanting to finish priming this side of the deck over here. And of course I can't do it because it's wet, and it's supposed to start raining in a couple of hours, and it's supposed to rain tomorrow. So I don't know if I'll get the deck primed, because once I get this other side primed, then I can go ahead and start putting the top coat down, which I'll run the non-skid along the deck and the sole cabin, the cabin sole, whatever, cabin top done, and then I'll do the non-skid on the cabin and see how that turns out before I do the non-skid on the deck itself, because in case I screw something up, at least it's a hell of a lot easier to sand off the cabin top than it is to sand the deck. All right, cool, just an update. All right, so I thought I was ready to finish the priming, but apparently not. Let me show you why. Okay, so as you can see, I've got everything primed except for this one side down here. But when I've went through and checked, had the light on areas, I see little places that I missed, like that little place right there. If you can see it, there's a bunch of other little places like that as well. Little place right there. But there's a little ding right there. Although the non-skid's gonna cover up a lot, this is, you know, little areas like that and that ain't gonna cut it. So what I'm gonna do is go through and bury it all again. See a little area right there, got dinged, little dings like this. So gotta fix all those things. Okay, so I came back to the boat after being gone for a week, and I had to redo the tarp. Actually, I put another tarp up under the existing tarp, and so I've redone the tarp. Yeah, well, actually, it wasn't too expensive. It was just time. I've used some nylon rope from Harbor Freight, 600 feet of 1/4 inch nylon for 18 bucks. 19 by 39 tarp for 49 bucks. And some black tape to hold that nylon in place. So I think this is gonna hold up to keep the boat dry. So what had happened is all the posts that I had up, the wind had a bad storm. The wind had pushed those over, so I had a collection of water where the tarp had caved in here in the cockpit. That caused me to have to come in here when I got back in town on Tuesday evening about 7 o'clock. It was dark, try and get all that water out. And so I was so cold because it's like 45 degrees outside right now, and pumping that water out. You know, it wasn't in the boat, it was actually on the tarp that was down in the boat. So I had to pump all that out, and it was cold water. I hadn't been that cold in a long time. So now hopefully I've got it fixed up. So now it will at least hold up to a little rain and storm. And it's double tarp. So total cost, I've got $175 in getting this thing tarped up. The tarp that's on the outside, it cost me $99 from Amazon. This, like I said, this one was $49 from Harbor Freight, and the rope was $18 from Harbor Freight. And then a thing of black tape, you know, $4 or $5 for that, so not too bad. All right, now we can get some more work done. Yeah, I kind of forgot to turn the camera on. So what I'm doing is sanding the the sole top, the cabin, whatever you call this thing. So I gotta get this sanded down. You see it's got non-skid on it. I don't know why, so when I paint it back I won't put non-skid on it. Alright, so let's just watch sanding for a little bit. Okay, so I've got everything fixed, and now I'm going through and finishing up the priming, particularly on this one side that I didn't prime, as you saw in the previous clip. So getting stuff primed up, making sure everything's good to go for paint. Well, let's prep, do a little prepping for paint. So what I'm only doing, I'm only going to sand the areas that are getting paint, because I'll have to sand them again. And so once I do my last sanding, I'll after I finish painting, then I'll sand the areas that get the non-skid. Let's do the cabin first, and I'll come back and do the sides. I'll come back and do the gun wheels or whatever they're called. Getting ready to paint with wet edge, 1 part polyurethane topside paint. Now this is a brush, a rolling tip method, and I've never done it. So we're gonna give it a little try here. And we're gonna start on the cabin hatch cover, because it'd be a learning experience for me, and if I fuck it up, if I mess it up, at least something's gonna be hid. I'm using a 3-inch roller, so I can just do a little bit at a time. And you're supposed to put it on thin, so it'd be 2 to 3 coats. Southern boys, I've got a southern boy. So I think I'm supposed to get this a little bit damp. Just lightly brush it. Plus I got to get the corners here. So basically what I'm doing is just covering the areas with the topside paint, the wet edge, that are not going to be covered with non-skid. So it's, as you can see here, it's going to be a little weird where I paint at, because I'm just painting all the areas that don't get non-skid. And then what will happen is I will tape those once it cures. Once all this paint here cures that I'm putting on now, then I will put tape down to do the non-skid with. So that's what we're doing here. Put me on a new pair of overalls, coveralls, whatever you want to call them. Not because I'm worried about getting paint on me, it's just I don't want to get dust all over me today. So, new coveralls for the day. And these are nice to have. Should have used them a lot more because it was hot in the summertime. Now they kind of help out, kind of keeping me warm without having to wear a jacket. It's about a little over 50 degrees inside here. 51 outside, it's a little windy, so it feels like it's a little more chilly. So what I'm gonna do now is actually start taping up everything. Taping off the areas that are getting, that's gonna stay, taping off the areas so we can put the 9 skid on. So I'll tape off areas that are not gonna get 9 skid. Measurement across here. Looks to be 39 and oh, something. The 40 3/4. So center of that would be 20 3/8. That's center. Okay. I want the center to go all the way across here as well. Now, one thing you have to remember is I'm putting in lines that were not there before. The entire deck was covered with non-skid, and I wanted to kind of differentiate that a little bit and get a little more style. Plus, there's some areas like along the sides of the toe rail that I did not want to have non-skid to make it easier for water to go away. Let's get it straight. That's 78. So I'll mark it at 39. That's the center. Okay. Now this is 1.88, which is about 48 millimeters. Okay. The reason I'm using, like I said, it's about 48 millimeters. The reason I'm using millimeters is it's a little tighter thing. So, be 24 millimeters. See, about right there. As you can tell, I've had to take out the audio because of music that was playing in the background. And I've actually turned it down quite a bit where the music goes out, taking the music out, but you can still hear Jim Croce singing Operator in the background. Sure hope this doesn't get me a copyright strike, but if it does, then I'll have to come back and take all the audio in and out. Yes, I had to take the audio out because you can actually still hear Jim Croce even better. So what I'm doing, I've got my areas marked, split them, and marked where I wanted to go. So I'm using tape, and this is how wide the and you can see an area through the middle there is painted, and so but this is how wide I want a stripe to be between the two sides of the deck, the port side and the starboard side of the forward deck. I want there to be a stripe in there. So that's what I'm doing with this tape, so that when I come back and start putting on non-skid, I'll be able just to pull this tape up. It was interesting that I did get some comments, probably on Facebook. Yeah, on Facebook, on the CNC Facebook page, people telling me I wouldn't be able to get the tape up, it would rip and all, but they didn't know what the hell they were talking about. The tape came up easily, left a nice clean edges for the non-skid, so I was really satisfied with that. And y'all see that, you guys will get to see this at the end, because one of the photographs I have at the end is from this area. All right, it says it's 43 degrees outside the tarp, and it says it's 62 degrees in here. All right, so guess we're gonna paint. All right, we are using Total Tread non-skid deck paint, light gray. Guess what I have on my boat? Pencil sharpener. One good thing about having the tarps is when it's windy out, like it is today, not too breezy inside. And some thinner.
Everybody's festival. We got no place to go.
Couple ounces. All right, so now I'm starting to put the non-skid on, and I run this fast because the camera, I had the camera on my head, and I almost got very little of actual painting done, rolling the paint on. But this is just to give you a general idea of why have all the tape down. And as I'm putting the non-skid on, I'm careful not to get it into the areas where the paint is. The smooth paint, it cured out for 3 or 4 days before I put tape down. I don't remember exactly now, but for several days I let it cure before I put tape on it. So this is me putting the non-skid down. As I'm continuing to put the non-skid down, I'm walking along, getting ready to do the opposite side of the cabin, and then my big feet kick the paint tray, spilled non-skid all over the deck here. So I'm trying to get it up a little bit. You know, these are the kind of things that happen when you're painting in a tight confine or you're doing things by yourself. So I kind of made a mess here. Have to get rags and start wiping it up. It's just one of those things that happens. It sucks, but it's honestly what happens when you're doing boat work. I'm trying to figure out where I got those. I think those are clear. I was trying to figure out why my gloves are yellow, but I think they're actually clear, and it's just my hands are tanned, and it makes it look yellow because I know I didn't have no yellow gloves. But yeah, it took a while to get this all cleaned up and all, so it's just something that happens. If you're gonna do boat work, crap like this is gonna happen. So after I finished getting this mostly cleaned up, and the reason I wanted to get it cleaned up because I was gonna be walking down through that area. So as you can see, I'm doing the gunwales or the deck, whatever it's called there. I'm not sure. Getting it painted. At the same time, I'm doing I'm just kind of working my way to the front of the boat. I've pretty much done the top, and so like I said, I'm just kind of working my way forward, trying to do a couple things at a time, and it all ended up well. Well, I can't say it ended up everything ended up well because you'll see coming up here. I actually had an issue that I had to come back and fix, so you'll see that in just a moment. But you can see that putting that tape down allows me to really not worry too much about painting in between the lines. Alrighty, got all the imperfections sanded out. It only took like 30 pieces of sandpaper. But now I'm gonna come through and sand everything with 320. And then clean everything up and put another coat on. This will probably mean, shoot, I missed a couple places. I had to come back up and get those. Crap. All right, probably gonna take 32 pieces of sandpaper. But then I'll clean everything up and put another coat on. Okay, as you can see, I'm starting to put the other coat on. The reason I had to sand all these places down was actually because of the paint, the smooth paint. It actually left ridges because I had it on so thick. I had, I think, 3 coats on. And in some areas, it was just too thick. The ridges showed through the non-skid. So I had to any place there were ridges showing through, I sanded back down. And that was the reason why I had that when I was talking about the imperfections I had in it, I had to get all those ridges out uh, that was showing through the non-skid that didn't make the non it didn't allow the non-skid to look uniform, in my opinion. Of course, if someone else was looking at it, they might have said it would have been fine. But since I'm there and I'm on top of it like it is, it I just wanted to do it correctly. So I went back and sanded all those ridges out, all the imperfections that you could see in the non-skid. I ain't gonna say I got every one of them out. There's probably one or two or three on the boat still now that did not get out or showed up after the second coat of non-skid. I was gonna put a third coat of non-skid on, and then I just decided that two coats was plenty. Okay, now you can see what it looks like and why I did the taping. It gives it a more sleek look. I still don't have all the tape off. This is a few days after the non-skid went on. You can see that I think I actually, the tarp flew down, or maybe just you can see some pine straw in there on top of it. That's just stuff that's swept off. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. It was a pretty long video, but I wanted to show you everything that I did. If you liked it, hit that subscribe button, share it with your friends. Next week's video, I'm not sure exactly what I've got on store for that. If I'm still be working in the head, I've got some stuff where I've worked on the pulpit, so we'll be working on that. Also, if you guys, I like the fact that you just watch the videos. If you want to help out the channel, help me get to do things a little quicker, you can join the channel membership. And you'll see videos on there that are not posted on YouTube, as well as you can always go to my Patreon page as well. And you can find more information about that and the details on this video. So, guys, I just really appreciate you watching the videos, and we'll see you next week.